This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Moms, dads, grandparents, our next topic may not be suitable for your little ones. It involves mature but important content, so you might want to have the kids leave the room for the next few moments.
Now, you probably remember a few weeks back, actor Michael Douglas made headlines discussing the cause of his throat cancer. In an interview, Douglas appeared to blame his cancer on oral sex and HPV. Well, a representative for the actor has since come out and said Douglas was misunderstood, that he never said it was the cause of his cancer. The rep claimed Douglas was instead saying that oral sex can cause cancer, not that it led to his diagnosis.
Well, it's a topic nobody wants to discuss, but it's something we are going to address today in an effort to protect others.
The human papillomavirus, commonly known as HPV, affects a lot of people of all ages, from teenagers to those in their 30s or 40s, even to our older generation. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports approximately 79 million Americans are currently infected with HPV. About 14 million people become newly infected with HPV each year. And the CDC reports HPV is so common that nearly all sexually active men and women will get at least one type of HPV at some point in their lives. Obviously, prevention is the key.
So joining us today to help us better understand is Pam Fleckenstein, the Women's Wellness and Gynecology Director at PRMC. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you.
Now, people may not realize that HPV can actually show up years after you contract it.
That's more so in the case of the oropharyngeal or the oral HPV. Cervical HPV can show up 3 months to 3 years afterwards, usually. But the oral, while it is still the same strain of HPV, can be somewhat dormant for 10 to 20 years.
So when we talk about sexually transmitted diseases, we usually think of teenagers and that age range.
Yeah.
But the truth is there are a lot of older people that are becoming infected. What's going on here?
Well, I'm not positive, and there's no real scientific reason as to what's going on here, but you know, we blame it on internet dating, divorce, single couples of an older age having sex.
They're just starting to live beyond those years. Now, there is a vaccine for HPV, correct? What age do they usually administer that?
Typically it's 9 to 26. And the reason being is that is the age group that the research was done with. And insurance companies know this as well, and they won't provide coverage for anyone over the age of 26.
Now, when this originally came out, it was a girls' vaccination, right?
Right,
But boys can
correct.
be vaccinated too.
Absolutely, and they should be.
And
It's not a mandatory vaccine, but most pediatricians are recommending it to their patients now.
right. And so why can't you get the vaccine when you're older? I mean, can I go get it if I wanted to?
You know, you could always ask, and there are probably a few providers that might provide the vaccine to you, knowing that your insurance company is, again, not going to cover it. But a lot of women are concerned and say, I'll pay for it myself. But other physicians or nurse practitioners, midwives, they're reluctant to give it because it's outside of the guidelines, and if there would be an adverse reaction, that leaves them open for lawsuits.
So should somebody go ahead and get the vaccine, what can they expect?
I would definitely recommend it for people with children in the appropriate ages and women that are sexually active up to age 26. I tend to follow the guidelines.
Now, there's been a lot of fear. People have been afraid of the side effects.
Right.
What about the side effects? What is there to worry about?
They read about these side effects, again, on the internet and often get incorrect information. If they go to the CDC website, cdc.gov, I think they can get much more accurate information. And so far, of all the hundreds of women that I've given this vaccine to, the only side effect I've seen is a little redness at the injection site.
Now, for those who have not gotten the vaccine, there are actually different types of HPV. 150?
150.
Wow. So how
Or
do you-
more.
Really? So how do you know there might be a problem?
The types of virus are virus 6, 11, 16, and 18. 16 and 18 are associated with the cervical cancer and the oropharyngeal cancer. 6 and 11 cause warts. While they're not cancer, they're not attractive. So
Now, HPV is actually showing up in babies.
it is. They think that there may be some perinatal acquisition of the vaccine, of the virus, and that these babies show up as young children in the dentist office, and the dentist often identify lesions in the throat of these young children.
Wow.
But it's rare, extremely rare, like 1 in 2 or 3 million.
So how do you get tested?
You really can't be tested for the virus per se, except through a pap smear, and that detects the cervical types of 16 and 18. Actually, it detects about 35 types of intermediate and some other high-risk viruses, but the ones we're mainly concerned with are 16 and 18. Typically, the lesions that they found in the throat, the oropharyngeal areas like the base of the tongue, the tonsil, that area, they usually have type 16, but also 18, which are the carcinogenic types of virus.
Now, Pam, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We just heard Virginia Madsen talk about the changes that come about during menopause, but there's one key thing that she missed, and that is lack of desire.
I hear this much more often, that I no longer have the inspiration or the desire for sex at this point in my life, much more often than I hear about painful intercourse. Now, I do find that a lot of my clientele, my patients, do tell me if they're having painful intercourse, and I think it's usually a question I ask most of the time to women of the menopausal age.
All right, so all questions that you can ask, don't be afraid to talk to your doctor
Right,
about
absolutely.
any of this.
We've heard it all.
Pam, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
You're very welcome. Thank you
Appreciate
for
that.
having me.
And if you'd like more information on PRMC and HPV, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
Still ahead on Delmarva Life, there are those moments in life when it's important to pre-plan, and death is one of those moments. Up next, the benefits of getting your arrangements in order early, and if you choose to pay up front, how your money is protected.
Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.